Number 1. The Conjuring, 2013. The Conjuring is a movie based on real events that portray the Perron family's eerie experiences with unexplainable ghostly occurrences at their Rhode Island house during the 1970s. Even though some family members were present during the filming, Carolyn Perron, the family's matriarch, never dared to be near the set. There were some very good reasons for her decision. There were incidents, strange and unresolvable, that haunted the movie's production. For instance, a peculiar incident happened when the Perron family visited the set. An abrupt gust seemed to encircle only them, leaving the crew members nearby bemused as they noticed still, unmoving trees. But that was just the beginning of the strange happenings. Shortly after, the hotel where the actors and crew were residing suddenly went up in flames, leading to an immediate evacuation for everyone. According to the strange events, director James Wan recounts an episode when he was working late in his office one night. His pet dog started growling inexplicably. After inspecting what could have triggered his dog, Wan couldn't find anything. Yet, the dog carried on growling, looking as if fixated on some invisible presence in the room. Vera Farmiga, who played a paranormal investigator in the movie, felt unusual discomfort and consequently decided not to take the script home. She even avoided reading it at night due to the overwhelming fear it induced in her. Adding to her discomfort, she once opened her laptop to find 3 claw-like marks stretched across the screen, as if a supernatural being had scratched it. Number 2. Sinister 2. For those who don't know, the Sinister movie is all about a wicked demon who fuels its victims to create murder films. Yet, in an amusing twist of fate, the most terrible moment while shooting Sinister 2 didn't happen within the movie plot or due to our eerie demon Bughuul. Instead, it was caused by a tiny creature with 8 legs. During an interview with Fangoria, Ciaran Foy, the talented director of Sinister 2, shared a chilling tale. Just after they started shooting for the grim sequel, Foy rushed to the hospital, and you'd never guess the cause. He was bitten by a brown recluse, one of the deadliest spiders you can find on our continent, right in the middle of a cornfield. The venom of this spider is known to cause severe tissue damage, and sadly for Foy, his leg was almost one of its victims. But here's the plot twist. Earlier the same day, Foy was filming a scene with a wolf spider, and despite its intimidating name, this spider was nothing short of a perfect, well-behaved performer. Now that's some real-life irony for you right there. Number 3. Twilight Zone, the movie, 1983. This movie, which goes by the same title as the Rod Serling series, was directed by none other than John Landis. The initial plan was for Landis and Steven Spielberg to join hands and direct together. However, Spielberg decides to step away when he realizes that Landis is trying to skip too many steps while making the movie. Tragedy struck during the shoot when a helicopter lost control, killing 3 actors, including Vic Morrow. There are differing opinions about what happened on the set of The Twilight Zone, the movie. Some believe a supernatural element was at play and that the set was haunted, while others attribute this unfortunate accident to Landis' lack of proper planning. Despite facing charges of manslaughter, Landis was ultimately declared not guilty. However, this incident acted as a wake-up call and led to much tighter safety rules being implemented on film sets. Even the renowned director Martin Scorsese, who was also involved in the movie, couldn't shake off his unease after this tragic event. He ended up directing a segment for the movie, but decided to use a different name in the credits due to his discomfort with being associated with it. Number 4. The Amityville Horror, 1979. The Amityville Horror is another movie based on true events, and unsurprisingly, it comes with its own set of creepy stories from behind the scenes. One of the most well-known incidents related to this movie is when James Brolin, who played George Lutz, woke up at exactly 3:15 a.m. every night during filming, the same time when the real-life George Lutz claimed to have experienced strange occurrences in their haunted house. Additionally, while filming a scene where flies swarm around the house, the crew had to use fake flies due to concerns about animal cruelty. However, real flies started appearing and swarming around actress Margot Kidder's face during one take. Despite multiple takes with the fake flies, this phenomenon kept happening, leading many to believe that something supernatural was at play on set. After filming, and after the movie was released, some cast members continued to experience strange happenings. Brolin claims that he would sometimes wake up with bruises on his body that he couldn't explain. Actress Diane Franklin also reported seeing a dark figure with red eyes in her home, similar to the depiction of the demonic entity in the movie. Number 5. The Exorcist. The Exorcist, often considered the most frightening movie of all time, seemed to have been accompanied by ominous events even during its creation. The procedure was as spooky as the film itself. This notorious story began when William Peter Blatty was penning the book that inspired the movie. His wife began witnessing strange phenomena, such as her hairbrush floating in midair and even their home telephone lighting off by itself. Two odd incidents occurred while filming on the set. The set depicting the McNeil family's home mysteriously caught fire in one instance. This disaster caused a 6-week delay in the film's production. In an eerie twist, Reagan's room, the place frequented by the demon in the film, was the only area untouched by the fire. On another occasion, the cast and crew were met with a surprising sight one morning. They found the entire set blanketed by snow. The combination of numerous running air conditioners and the natural humidity on the set gave birth to indoor snowfall. Despite the plausible explanation, it still spooked many, as indoor snowfall is odd. Not only was the movie set haunted by strange events, but it was also marked by a series of injuries. Linda Blair, playing Reagan, had a horrific accident while executing a scene where her character was violently thrashing on a bed. She discussed the incident on the show Cursed Sets, indicating that her intense cries of pain during the scene were real. She had actually fractured her lower spine, and the painful performance made it to the final cut of the movie. Ellen Burstyn, another actress in the film, also sustained a back injury on set. In a scene, Blair's character forced her character to be forcefully thrown across the room. However, due to a malfunctioning harness, the timing of the stunt went awry. As a result, she landed on her coccyx, causing permanent damage to her spine. Number 6. The Omen, 1976. The Omen, an unforgettable classic in the world of horror, is one of the most influential and widely cherished movies from the 1970s. The chilling story, woven around a young boy Damien, who is believed to be the Antichrist, was very nearly left unfinished. This was due to a sinister misfortune that swept over the film's production. The legend goes that the set of The Omen encountered as many unfortunate incidents as the movie plot itself. The sequence of tragic events began with the melancholy incident of Gregory Peck's son, the film's star actor, taking his own life as production kicked off. Adding to the woes, a severe car accident injured a production crew member while on the way to the shoot. Furthermore, the screenwriter's flight was struck by lightning while flying to the filming site. As if these incidents weren't unnerving enough, another striking coincidence was when the plane carrying Peck and the film's executive producer also got hit by a lightning bolt. But none of these calamities could rival the greatest tragedy that loomed over the cast and crew of The Omen. The team planned to use a private airplane to shuttle between different filming locations. Unfortunately, with several crew members aboard, the plane mysteriously malfunctioned moments after takeoff and nosedived onto the below-mentioned road. The impact sent a car spiraling out of control into another vehicle at a frightening speed. This catastrophic incident claimed the lives of 11 people associated with the film. Understandably, Peck chose to avoid any promotional activities for The Omen before it hit the big screen. Number 7. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For those who think creating independent cinema is a tough job today, let's take a trip back to the early 70s. Consider making a film under the harsh rays of the Texas sun, like the notorious movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There are countless stories about the harsh and dreadful circumstances that the cast and crew faced while shooting the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This includes in Chainsaw Confidential, a book penned by Gunnar Hansen, the actor who played the horrifying Leatherface. However, the most spine-chilling tale from this legendary horror flick comes from the trailblazing actress Marilyn Burns. Her real cries in the scene where her hand gets cut send shivers down our spines. Those screams were not just acting, they were real. Why, you may ask? Because during that dreaded take, Hansen cut her hand with the razor. So next time you watch that scene, remember that the terror was all too real for Burns. In addition to this, the cast and crew had to work under extreme temperatures and unhygienic conditions. The infamous dinner table scene was shot in a room filled with rotting food, exposing the actors to unbearable stench while filming for hours. Some of them even ended up getting sick from it. Number 8. The Shining. Directed by the iconic Stanley Kubrick, this movie is known for its spine-tingling atmosphere and intense performances. But the making of this film was no easy feat. Kubrick was a perfectionist and demanded multiple takes from his actors, sometimes going up to 50 or even 100 takes for a single scene. This put immense pressure on the cast and crew, leading to conflicts and tension on set. Jack Nicholson's performance as the deranged protagonist Jack Torrance was so intense that it reportedly took a toll on his mental health. But perhaps what adds to the eerie aura of this movie is the mysterious death of one of its young stars, Danny Lloyd. During the filming of the infamous tricycle scene, Lloyd had to ride down a steep incline and ended up crashing into a camera, resulting in a serious injury. This led to rumors that Kubrick may have intentionally put his young actor in harm's way for the sake of realism. Another strange occurrence on set was the unexplainable phenomenon of the typewriter used by Shelley Duvall's character suddenly typing on its own. Although some attribute it to electrical malfunctions or pranks from crew members, others believe it could be a result of The Shining being filmed at a reportedly haunted hotel. Number 9. Psycho, 1960. A chilling murder, intricately linked to Alfred Hitchcock's renowned thriller Psycho, stirred up a storm in the media circus. Revisiting the year 1988, we remember Myra Jones. Playing a double role, she was Janet Leigh's body double in the film and also lent her voice to the character of Norman Bates' mother. Tragically, Myra was mercilessly killed in her home in Los Angeles. Now, even though a significant span of 30 years had passed since she was part of the iconic movie and her untimely demise, the striking resemblance between her real-life murder and the on-screen homicides portrayed in Psycho led the audience to speculate. They began to believe in a horrifying theory that the unfortunate lady was a victim of a curse. Most notably, the man held accountable for Myra's demise, a certain Kenneth Dean Hunt, committed another murder in the exact same gruesome manner. Number 10. Annabelle Comes Home. When young actress McKenna Grace was shooting for the sequel to Annabelle Comes Home, she faced a handful of eerie incidents. While speaking to The Wrap in 2019, Grace shared several spooky happenings on set, such as mysterious nosebleeds, random cuts appearing on her face, and props that seemed to move on their own. Just like her fellow actors Farmiga and King, who mysteriously discovered bruises on their bodies during the Conjuring shoot, Grace woke up one day with an odd triangle-shaped cut near her hairline on her forehead. This provocative fear scared her, as the movie's director informed her such a mark could mean an alien abduction was soon to occur. There was this moment when the entire cast assembled for the first time, and suddenly, the studio lights blacked out, plunging them into darkness. Grace recalled, "The first time all of us gathered on set, the lights unexpectedly went off. We were all petrified, and started asking if Annabelle was there. Shortly after, the lights flickered back on, and I realized my nose was bleeding unusually heavily. Grace usually experiences nosebleeds due to allergies, but never to this extent, and the bleeding miraculously stopped when she left to fetch a tissue. Throughout the shoot, Grace noticed other strange occurrences. The cross from her rosary broke off and landed on the floor. A journalist's wristwatch malfunctioned during a visit on set. She observed a shadowy figure resting in an empty room. Her trailer lights refused to work, and the photos she captured of the Annabelle doll turned out pitch black. However, the most terrifying incident occurred when the Annabelle doll mysteriously emerged behind a door, only to vanish moments later." Grace recounted, "Madison and I were filming a scene where we strolled down a hallway when we heard distinct knocks on a door. Even though the camera was recording, we decided to continue. We heard the knocking again during the third take. I asked Madison if she heard it too, and we both agreed it was peculiar. In the original Conjuring, 3 knocks symbolize the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So we decided to open the door, and to our surprise, we found Annabelle seated in a rocking chair. We initially thought this was a prank by the crew, but when we heard the knock once again during the next take and opened the door, Annabelle was nowhere to be seen." So these are just a few examples of movies where the filming process was plagued with strange and eerie occurrences. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more spooky content. And let us know in the comments if you have any other examples of movies with creepy behind-the-scenes stories. Thanks for watching.